Good morning, everyone. My name is Christina Michelle with WRPB Studios.
And my name is Dan Toback with SLC Scanner, news from the people for the people.
Thanks for joining us on our second episode of our weekly review on our newsletter at SLC Scanner. And today, the first thing we're going to be talking about is on September 14th, there was a smash and grab at Treasure Coast Mall. Looks like two gentlemen approached one of the jewelry kiosks with a hammer, fully masked, knocked out some glass, and ran with some gold. Have you heard anything else about that incident, Dan?
Yeah, Christina. So it's really interesting. We had several messages into the page regarding this incident, the smash and grab at Treasure Coast Mall. And it was fascinating because one of the first people I spoke to was a contact of mine in law enforcement. And he said it's very unusual that you would see something like this right in the middle of the day. It's very bold. So, immediately when I just took a little bit of introspect, I said to myself, well, why now? Why this? And I think it really is reflective of our growing population. There's just more people here. So there's more people willing to do crazy things like this in the middle of the day. There were several fans of the page who, a lot of y'all watching know this, who sent me messages very concerned because they didn't really know what was going on. They didn't know if, God forbid, somebody had a gun. They didn't know if there was another type of event because there was a lot of chaos, a lot of people running around, a lot of people yelling. So because of that, there were a lot of questions as to what this person was doing.
I look at a few different factors when I see a situation like that. Was very brazen for them to do it. I
Yeah.
believe it was on a weekend day as well, if I'm not mistaken, or close to the
Maybe.
weekend. It just
Yeah.
felt like a time that there would normally be more people there. They didn't do it right when they opened. It was right in the middle of the day.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
feel like in my own conspiracy that it was probably like some young guys who were at the
Yeah.
mall, saw some
Yeah.
really flashy bling that they wanted
Yeah.
because they also didn't go anywhere else. They went to one specific corner, took their hammer, hit it, grabbed what looked like one thing. I'm sure it was a little bit more than one thing, but they clearly were there for something very specifically.
Yeah.
Because if it was a full on smash and grab and they were there for a heist style, they would have knocked all that glass out and took it. So to me,
Yes.
they were petty robbers just there for some bling bling. So that's what
Yeah.
I'm thinking happened there. But it seems like they haven't caught the assailants yet either.
I haven't heard
No.
anything. We haven't gotten any news that anybody was apprehended. Any suspects were apprehended from that particular event. However, we did share some really neat photos of their investigation after the fact. We did another post, if you guys want to go back to the page, where we actually seen them setting up their investigation with the little tape
Yep.
and some of the stickers on the ground. It was really kind of neat to see our law enforcement very publicly at work. And I think for a lot of you folks who watched the page, it was very educational too.
Yeah, definitely. It was nice to see them at work and to get kind of a glimpse inside of an investigation like that and
Yeah.
see where our tax dollars are going. So we
Yes.
put them to work. So
Yeah.
that was great. So thank you, thank you, thank you to our law enforcement that have been actively working on this investigation. Hopefully they find what seems to be like kids that did it.
Yeah,
The
we
kid,
hope.
the kid hit it with a hammer, and he was definitely not a professional.
No.
Nowhere near it.
No.
But on some lighter news, we have a very fun event coming up on October 5th for Oktoberfest. There's going to be a Wiener race. I love the Wieners. They're so
Yes.
adorable. Their little legs.
Yeah.
And it's actually going to be sponsored by the Banfield Pet Hospital, and it's going to be held at McChesney Park. So definitely check it out. That is Oktoberfest, October 5th. If you have a wiener that you want to see race, please have them entered into the contest. And it is for a good cause, and it is being sponsored again by the Banfield Pet Hospital. Have you ever went to any of these races?
I haven't. I've never
No.
been to a wiener race, although I definitely put the information out on our page because we have a lot of fur baby parents on our page. And this is a great opportunity for people to connect over something big commonality, right? If you own the same breed. So it's just for the wiener dog. I think it's Dachshund. Am I right?
Dachshund, Dachshund. You might have pronounced it better than I did. Dachshund.
Yeah, I should
Dachshund.
know that. But yeah, this is a great opportunity for all you owners there of the wiener dog to connect and have some fun, have some laughs too.
The wiener dog community. And I'm sure they're going to actually
Yeah.
be selling some hot dogs as well. So we
It's actually pretty good.
get some hot dogs and some hot dogs racing. It's going to be very exciting. So
Yeah.
definitely check it out. So we had another incident happen. I know last week we were talking about the school buses with the children and a few other things going on with kids. This week we had an incident where a child got hit by a car while riding their bike. Now, of course, this we have to look at it as it's not an intentional act that occurs, but I really, really, really urge all parents to talk to their children about how to safely ride their bicycles through the neighborhood. I myself ride my bike to the gym. I look both ways more than once before I cross. Even when you're at a roundabout crossing and it says pedestrians come first, drivers are not always paying attention. We are not always in their peripheral vision. Not everyone is as observant as you. So what are your thoughts about that, Dan?
Yeah, we get a lot of these, Christina, into the page, and unfortunately, it's becoming common in our area for some of these incidences to take place because of the growing population, also our growing roads and our traffic. So it's really imperative to speak with your kids about taking those extra safety precautions, making sure they're also wearing the protective gear, like helmets and things like that, that are all within their control. And also to remember to respect the traffic around you. We were talking a little bit about that off air here just a moment ago, making sure that you're very cognizant of the vehicles around you, both sides, making sure you're signaling, making sure you're using sidewalks when necessary, and things like that, watching out for curbs. Again, these are not intentional. These are not people that were under the influence or anything. These are mistakes, but we can help prevent those mistakes, or a good portion of them, by just being extra careful while we're on the road. So I would encourage, again, our parents who follow our page or also watching this newscast to go ahead and have those discussions with your kids, and make sure that we can have these discussions in the schools as well.
I agree. I think that if you are part of a nonprofit or you are actively working with schools at any capacity, please reach out to SLC Scanner. We're very curious to figure out how we can maybe put together some kind of safety cycle program where a speaker can go out to schools and simply let children know, hey, this is what a vehicle sees when they're looking in their peripheral vision. You are not in their peripheral vision. When you ride your bike, you should be riding in the same direction as traffic. Don't ride against traffic. Don't ride your bicycle down the middle of the road. I can't tell you, I've seen more than one child do this. They stop at the crosswalks. They're doing their wheelies with their friends. They're not being safe. And unfortunately, the child being reckless causes a person to hit them with their car, and then the person ends up going to prison for vehicular manslaughter. And we ruin multiple lives off of something that could be avoided through just some education and just being a little bit safer. Kids are going to be kids.
Yeah.
And I want children to be children. I want them to explore being on their own. That's how children grow up into being responsible adults, because they know how to think on their feet and take care of themselves without being coddled. But they also need to be educated. Don't just think because your child has a brain and they have a bike that they know exactly what to do. So please, parents, talk to your kids. Please, 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 please. We do not want to see these accidents continue to happen. So yeah, on to the next thing. We have an event happening on September 21st. This is going to be hosted by the Pilot Club of Fort Pierce. This is a golfing charity event that is for the Alzheimer's Care Center, which is located on Prima Vista. So the Alzheimer's Care Center helps citizens of Port St. Lucie and surrounding areas on the Treasure Coast who are suffering from Alzheimer's, and also they provide resources. So for this particular event, this is going to help fund the ID bracelet locator.
Okay.
They say that 70% of patients who suffer from Alzheimer's are at risk of walking out their home and forgetting and just getting lost. Those are those silver alerts that you see. So the Alzheimer's Care Center is working on supplying citizens with these ID locator bracelets. So if they do get lost, we can GPS track them. Something that my grandfather has Alzheimer's. At some point, we're going to have to put them on him. We've thought about it before. He hasn't gotten lost yet.
Yeah.
But it's just a natural degradation of the human mind that will eventually get the best of the person. So these ID locators are very necessary to our citizens. So please check it out. Again, that's September 21st at the Gator St. Lucie Gator Trace Golf Club. There we go. And this is hosted by the Pilot Club of Fort Pierce. September 21st. So please take care of our old people. We will become them one day, and we need to try to get these resources in place now so that they're also available to us when we get old. Do you have anything to throw in on that, Dan?
No, just Christina, like you said, another opportunity to be able to be proactive and help with an issue that's very near and dear to our hearts. We have a lot of grandparents and parents that have went through this. A lot of families in our community have went through this, and this is another way for you not to only be a fan from the sidelines, but actually plug in, get involved, and add to a tremendous benefit to that community. So we'd love to see you there.
Wonderful. Yes, definitely come out and support you guys. And so our last thing, we're going to end with some very good news. We have our hero highlight of the week. SLC Scanner and WRPB Studios wants to give a big shout out and thank you to Mr. Joe Edge. Thank you so much, Joe. Basically, the backstory is that there was a young boy named Roger who saw a pelican in distress. he had placed his fishing rod down to go and help the pelican. And when he came back after the, I think animal control came to assist, but when he came back, his fishing rod had been stolen. So SLC Scanner received a message from the young boy's mother reaching out just to say, hey, these things went missing. No good deed goes undone. What happened? And the wonderful Mr. Joe Edge immediately contacted SLC Scanner. He met up with Roger's mom, and at Bass Pro Shops, is it? I'm clearly not a hunter, but Bass Pro Shops, they met together, Joe and the young boy's mom, and Joe replenished all of the things that he lost. So, yay, Joe!
Good job, Joe.
We're going to get some t-shirts. We're going to wear your face on it. We're very grateful. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And good news is, honestly, folks, we really didn't have a lot of bad things to talk about this week, which for us is a good thing. We appreciate all of the messages that come in, all of the traffic issues, the weather issues. Please keep sharing them with us. Just, of course, remember, don't put yourself in danger to get pictures or anything like that on our behalf. We would hate to see you get hurt just because you want to post something on Facebook. And yeah, this is our second episode, so we appreciate you joining us. We're still going to be working on some other new segments that are coming out. We're going to have Karens, our hero highlight of the week, which we just showed, our fan of the week, and we're going to eventually be going live as well. So in the future, you guys will be able to actually message us as we're on air with any questions that you want to address. So please stay tuned. And do you have anything to add before we end?
No, Christina, that's awesome. Yeah, just another shout out. There's much bad news as we get in the page with accidents and crime and things like that. That's, the reason the scanner exists, to keep you informed. We do get wonderful stories as well of our community really putting their arms around each other to support each other in times of need. And I'll tell you this, I've told this to a lot of people before, there's never a time where y'all don't step up. So if we have somebody in need, whether it's a child, whether it's an animal, whether it's just anybody in a situation where they're going into a tough season of life, the community always has so many people that send us messages and comments of wanting to help. And I sincerely do appreciate each and every one of you for always doing that and being such a cornerstone and bedrock of our community. So thank you.
Wonderful. Big heart to all of you. We love you all. And please, you guys, follow us, subscribe to the channel on YouTube. You can go to tinyurl.com/PSLC Scanner. Again, that's tinyurl.com/PSLC Scanner. Once you subscribe, you'll receive the weekly newsletter. They come out 6:30 a.m. every Thursday. We air our weekly review every Friday. So stay in touch and we'll see you soon. My name is Christina Michelle with WRPB Studios.
And so long from Dan Toback from SLC Scanner. Take care, folks.